Lewis Hamilton is fighting a battle that does not appear on the leaderboard. He is driving for survival against his own machine. Paddock whispers suggest the SF26 has speed, but it is fragile. This is not about driver error. It is about a car forcing its driver to choose between attacking and preserving rubber. Leaked telemetry from Austria reveals a car consuming tires at an alarming rate. The numbers show Hamilton opening the throttle early, yet losing speed on straights. This creates a thermal debt the tires must pay. What no broadcast covered is how this inefficiency starts before the slide. The tires are victims of a deeper mechanical issue. If Hamilton's tires degrade 3 times faster, we must ask what inside the Ferrari is killing them. A driver can manage tires, but if the car forces overwork, then Austria was a warning. The championship dream may be losing grip from the inside out. The real question is, what part of the car causes this destruction? Telemetry shows exactly where the throttle opened and where the car lost speed. Data revealed Hamilton applying power early, yet failing to gain velocity. This proves the issue was mechanical inefficiency, not driver aggression. The tires were overloaded by a car, unable to convert energy cleanly. This shifts blame from cockpit to chassis. Invisible degradation begins before the driver feels a slide. Every time Hamilton compensated for lack of straight-line speed, he introduced heat. Traces show compensatory driving, where he works harder for the same lap time. This is not how a champion operates with a balanced car. When that ability disappears, the machine is fighting him. If the driver is not the cause, we must examine components, forcing inefficiency. Data points to a disconnect between power unit output and rear axle behavior. This loop lacks top-end speed and forces aggressive braking. Each action generates excess heat. Tires cannot dissipate. We must now examine the heart of the Ferrari. The Red Bull Ring demands maximum acceleration and efficient energy recovery. It exposes weakness in straight-line speed. Ferrari's SF26 struggled where the hybrid system should boost. Instead, the car stalled slightly at each straight end. This forced Hamilton to brake later, putting immense pressure on front tires. This power deficit destroys tire life from both ends. When the rear lacks traction, the driver modulates throttle to avoid spin. This leads to wheel spin, generating intense local heat. Meanwhile, fronts suffer from aggressive braking. The car asks tires to compensate for lack of engine performance. James Allison notes balance between aero and power is critical. Hybrid deployment appears misaligned with track demands. If the battery misses full charge, the car becomes vulnerable. Hamilton defended aggressively using more tire resource. Every defensive maneuver burns rubber and raises temperatures. This is not just raw horsepower but delivery. The car works too hard to go fast. Hamilton built his reputation on shaping races with precision. He preserves tires without losing pace. But in Austria, control vanished as the car forced defense. Radio messages shifted to damage limitation. This reveals the toll of driving a car that fights its driver. When options narrow, the race becomes a struggle. Survival mode is expensive because defense costs tire life. Protecting position meant braking later and turning harder than ideal. These actions spike temperature and degrade compound. Once crossed, the tires do not recover. Slide creates heat, and heat creates slip. It is a self-feeding loop draining performance. Contrast with Max Verstappen is stark, because Red Bull allows attack without penalty. Verstappen pushes hard while managing tires due to balance. Hamilton lacked that luxury, choosing between attack and preservation. Neither offered victory. This compromise limits flexibility. Conservative driving rarely wins titles. Inside Ferrari engineers saw what cameras could not. Data showed correlation between power unit output and tire spikes. This was not fixable with wing angles. It was fundamental imbalance in energy and aero. Fred Vasseur faced a dilemma, helping one area hurt another. Downforce increased drag, worsening straight-line problems. Tires as emergency workers explains failed strategies. Unbalanced cars force rubber to absorb excess energy through slip. Charles Leclerc faced similar struggles, proving the problem is structural. Both drivers reported rear instability, forcing gentle throttle. Gentle means losing time. Losing time means pushing harder later. Data shows the hybrid system lacks support. Conservative battery maps leave drivers vulnerable on straights. Hamilton defends using lines harsh on front tires, sacrificing rubber. This is unsustainable for championships. The team must break this loop. Can they do it mid-season, or is it built in? Titles are won on consistency, not raw speed. McLaren threatens because their car offers balance without thermal penalties. Norris and Piastri attack while keeping tires optimal. They maintain pace without SF26 fade. Hamilton's points loss reflects hidden costs of conservative driving. Managing flaws lets rivals gain ground. Verstappen benefits from Red Bull efficiency, placing less stress on tires. He pushes when needed, conserving without grip drop. Flexibility separates championship cars from fast ones. Ferrari's weakness forces defensive driving in attack races. This limits capitalizing on mistakes. Summer break approaches and unresolved issues spell disaster. Data does not lie despite tribal passions. Hamilton fans fear skill neutralized by compromise. Ferrari supporters fear development ceilings. Championship dreams need cars performing under stress. Fast qualifiers that fade are liabilities. Maranello must restore confidence. Without solutions, titles slip away quietly. Engineers evaluate two paths to fix imbalance. Changing power unit mapping smooths energy, reducing torque spikes. This helps rear grip but sacrifices acceleration. Aero tweaks reduce drag without losing stability. Adrian Newey notes, "True balance comes from harmony. Chasing one solution risks new problems. Timelines are tight. Mid-season upgrades risk handling quirks. Sensitive cars react unpredictably to downforce changes. Simulations ensure fixes do not worsen thermal debt. Precision beats panic. Vassar knows Band-Aids fail. They need a cure for deployment issues. Is this flaw structural or solvable via software?" Next races reveal if Maranello found answers. Rapid degradation means structural winter fixes. Improvement implies resolved setup issues. Pressure is immense as lost points are hard to recover. Hamilton needs freedom, not survival mode. The team must decide if they can break the loop before titles vanish. Austria was a clear seasonal warning. Championship cars possess balance attacking without destruction. Ferrari lacks stability, forcing costly compromises. Hamilton is neutralized by a machine, unable to deliver power and preserve tires. This is engineering limitation, not skill failure. Titles require consistency, not bursts followed by decline. Maranello's nightmare is competitive short runs fading seriously. Hamilton's craft depends on options. Disappearing options shift focus to damage control. This limits strategic flexibility. The team must provide a car supporting aggression. Without change, dreams slip away quietly, rather than dramatically. Tires do not lie about car health. They reveal what chassis hide behind Aero. Austrian degradation exposed mechanical illness. Ferrari must break this loop or lose trust and hope. The question is whether they can fix it in time to save the championship.